Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty cool things to go over. New Mega Evolution hints have popped up for Pokemon Legends ZA. We also have some other Legends ZA things to go over in regards to updates and rumors, all that jazz. Plenty of things to break down today. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. It's trying to hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, let's go over these new Mega Evolution hints for Pokemon Legends ZA. So this was posted by Hidden Power. The original post was on the 3rd of March saying the Pokemon Legends ZA starters were teased in Pokemon Cafe Remix last year. So the 2024 presents did tease the starter Pokemon. They were right in front of us the whole time. So the latest new delivery recruit Pokemon in 2024 were Chikorita in May, Totodile in June, and then Tepig in August. Other deliveries in between were pre-existing Pokemon. So we had that in the 2024 presents, and now in the 2025 presents, since these Pokemon, the latest new Pokemon in Cafe Remix was Zeraora. Could this suggest Zeraora also has significance in Pokemon Legends ZA, which we're already expecting it to be because we know from the Terra Leak that it's very, very likely to get a Mega Evolution in Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, again, they could have scrapped that. They could have cancelled it. It's the same with Mega Zygarde. But the fact that we've seen that in the Terra Leak, and now we've also seen this, which is, again, in my opinion, a hint because they've literally just done it with the starters the year before. I think it's just more fuel to the fire about Zeraora getting something in Pokemon Legends ZA, and it's very likely to be a Mega Evolution over a form because Mega Evolution was what was leaked in the Terra Leak regarding this Pokemon. So I'm pretty much convinced now that we are going to be seeing a Mega Zeraora in this game. I don't know what kind of I don't really know what kind of impact it's going to have on the story, or whether it's just going to be some sort of side quest or something. Maybe it battles Zygarde, or maybe Zeraora becomes enraged. A lot of people think that this Prism Tower is going to be sending off like radio signals to kind of make Pokemon like angry and go berserk and stuff, and maybe that is what happens with Mega Zeraora, and then you have to battle it or something like that, which I think would be really cool. I really hope that that is the storyline, that this radio tower is setting off these signals and making Pokemon enraged, and that's when they start like trying to fight you, just like they did in Pokemon Legends Arceus. That would be a really cool storyline, and then this Quasartico team is behind it. Really hope that's the case. Yeah, Mega Zeraora I think is very, very likely to be in Pokemon Legends ZA now. But what are your thoughts on this? Would you like to see a Mega Zeraora, or do you think it's just a massive convenient coincidence that that obviously we're getting this in Cafe Mix just like we did with the starters for Legends ZA? So that's the first thing that I wanted to go over. The next thing is this post from Soul Silver talking about Eternal Floette, saying fans have called this AZ's Floette for a decade, but it is now called Eternal Flower Floette. Having this officially as its name suggests that there could be more than one, instead of a name as a possession of another person. So this leads to the second option of how it could finally be obtainable in Pokemon Legends ZA. So in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we see that AZ planted a giant tree in Sutopolis, and right under the tree we see an eternal flower sprouting. So this could mean that AZ has the knowledge of how to make more eternal flower Floettes. He could give us a flower to transform our own Floette mid or end game, maybe even this same flower from Sutopolis. Or he could just give us an egg containing a baby Eternal Flower Floette. Maybe its mother is AZ's Floette. Maybe it can only hatch once its mother is gone, starting a new cycle of that powerful flower. Maybe she makes a sacrifice instead of AZ. Or maybe there are already two Eternal Flower Floettes. Maybe the second one comes to find AZ's Floette and is then gifted to us or joins us. Or even better, I think it'd be kind of cool if this radio signal affects the Eternal Flower Floette and then we have to fight it, and then maybe it's like a really sad scene and we have to like just destroy it. I don't really know. And then obviously there's like another one or something in like an egg or something. Because it does say, you know, when the player overhears Wallace's conversation with his master, they discuss that the tree planted in front of the entrance to the Cave of Origin was given to the people of Sutopolis by a huge man who visited from the Kalos region, which is obviously AZ. Underneath the tree there is a flower of the same kind as the one carried by AZ's Floette. So he does have knowledge on maybe how to get more Eternal Flower Floettes. I still think it's going to be an early purchase bonus. I've said that for the longest of time. it's the only way for us to receive it without it kind of, I guess, impacting the story, unless something happens to AZ, and then that's why we get the Eternal Flower Floette. Because otherwise, the only way we would get it is, yeah, if something does happen to AZ. Like, there's no way that AZ is going to give his Eternal Flower Floette to some random kid that stays at his hotel after searching for it for 3,000 years. It's just not going to happen. So something will have to happen to AZ, or we'll just get an early purchase kind of bonus for it. That's just my opinion. So that's all that. What do you think, though? How do you think we're going to obtain this Pokemon? Finally, anyway, like, it's been a very long time since... We might still not even be able to obtain it in this game. You know, it might just be one of those things that's just never obtainable, and it's just there in the sidelines, and we just have to see it from afar. And then also, I wanted to quickly go over this as well, from Nintendo Live, saying, was the Pokemon Legends ZA footage running on the Nintendo Switch 2? Digital Foundry weighs in. So they say, prepare for a pretty obvious answer. So last week, which obviously a couple of weeks ago now, we got our first look at some actual real Pokemon Legends ZA footage. People have seemed pretty split between we're so back and it's so over in the days since, but we can all agree that it all looks very Switch 1, right? Apparently, not everyone thought it was that clean cut, and some have even started speculating that the footage we saw was actually taken from the Nintendo Switch 2. So we were pretty shocked by mere suggestion that the footage could be from the new hardware, and so it seems with the tech experts at Digital Foundry, who recently gave their opinions on whether the ZA gameplay could possibly be from the upcoming system. We'll cut right to the chase. It's a pretty definitive no from Digital Foundry. This is definitely not Switch 2. Digital Foundry's Oliver McKenzie said in the above chat, citing the footage's similarities to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet before concluding, if this is the Switch 2, we're in some trouble. So John Lernerman agreed, conceding that while the footage looked a lot more solid from the previous mainline entry, it's far from what we should expect from a next-gen console. I'm surprised that anybody anywhere would look at this and say you think this is Switch 2. Ledbetter commented, that upsets my whole understanding of what people see in graphics and what they perceive about games. And then we have the strategic element of it all. Technology editor Richard Ledbetter made the less analysis-focused point that there's no way Nintendo would reveal Switch 2 footage this close to the 2nd of April Direct, which, again, makes so much sense. So we have to admit we agree. The thought that the Legends ZA trailer could be running on the Switch 2 had never entered our minds. We didn't see anything that made us particularly think, wow, the Switch 1 could never do that. In fact, it was closer to come on. The Switch 1 is capable of much better than that. Sure, some kind of brushed up Switch 2 release might be on the cards for ZA in the future, but everything we've seen so far pretty definitively seems to be last gen. I mean, there's still the chance that they do drop another trailer in April for the Nintendo kind of Switch 2 version of Pokemon Legends ZA, if it is getting an enhanced version, and that would be on the Switch 2. I think it's less likely because I don't think we're going to get, unless the release date is closer than we expect, I don't think we're going to get another trailer personally until like maybe May or June. We are most likely going to get an August Presents, and that will obviously feature some more Legends ZA gameplay, or feature some more Champion stuff as well. But for me, yeah, I mean, it's clearly not on the Switch 2 the footage from the trailer anyway. The game might be as an enhanced version. It's going to be playable because of backwards compatibility, but yeah, just wanted to quickly go over that because I think a couple people were confused about it being on the Switch 2 or not. And then also, we've got this big old rumor to go over as well. This was posted on the 7th of March. It's titled Nothing. It was posted by Anonymous. This was posted on 4chan though, so as always, say it every time, take it with a massive grain of salt. Very unlikely to be true that all of these rumors are just coincidentally coming out now after the trailer. But anyway, here's what it says. So all the information I have in no specific order. So the game is about collecting data to not only build better habitats for the wild Pokemon, but also to make artificial Mega Stones, allowing Pokemon that didn't get an organic Mega Stone to Mega Evolve, which could be a new way of doing it. Maybe there is technology now which allows us to create a Mega Stone that will allow a Pokemon to Mega Evolve. You know, maybe that technology exists in this game. Mega Evolution did kind of start in Kalos, so we'd expect them to be at the kind of front running of, I guess, any advancements in that sort of gimmick. So yeah, that is something that I could definitely see happening. Abilities and hold items return. I'm less inclined to believe this. It does say on the website like a Mega Stone held by your Pokemon, so maybe that is, you know, talking about held items, or maybe it's literally just, you know, that the Pokemon has to like have it in its vicinity or something like that. But yeah, abilities as well, I don't think they're going to be back. I think all the new Mega Evolutions we see in this game are going to be in Pokemon Champions, and that's where they get their abilities and stuff like that. But for this game, I don't know, the way that the kind of battle style is with like real-time battling, I just don't think abilities are gonna be that useful. Like half of the abilities just aren't gonna even really work in real-time battling, and then some, like, I mean, you could, like with Intimidate and stuff, that could be useful, but maybe it's just going to be a complete overhaul on how like growl works and light screens and reflex and, I don't know, scary face, stuff like that. It says new legendary link to artificial megastones, which, yeah, I mean, that is a very good shout. If they are making artificial megastones, they're going to have this new Pokemon and make it mega evolve against its will, maybe makes it really angry, and then that's what this threat is or something like that. Themes of ecosystem balance, not overstepping nature, which again, I mean, Zygarde is the one to try and make the ecosystem all imbalanced, or all balanced, should I say, not imbalanced. Zygarde's job is to keep the balance. It says, technically no evil team, just misguided. Hope this isn't the case. I'm still on the idea that, you know, they're sending these radio signals out to make Pokemon kind of angry and stuff like that. I really hope that's the case. It says AZ is forced to use the damaged weapon to stop the legendaries from destroying Lumiose. Very, very unlikely to be the case. He's just got his hotel, man. Just leave the dude alone. This act scatters yet more megastones across the planet. It's implied that all regions will have access to megas going forward. That would be kind of crazy, because that would mean that mega evolutions would be in every single game. And even though mega evolution's my favorite gimmick, that isn't something I want to see. I don't want to see mega evolutions in every single game, because then it would just get tiring, it'll get boring, and we always like seeing new gimmicks and stuff. It says, Z moves and terrestrialization are mentioned in the story, Dynamax isn't. I mean, yeah, they might be mentioned, they're not going to be usable, but the mention of it's fine. Multiplayer battles were tested, scrapped due to worries with latency. I mean, that's not a good enough reason. I think real-time... If there's one thing I want from Pokemon this year, it's online for this game. Doing real-time battles like online would be so sick. It'd be such a cool way of playing Pokemon against your friends. And if you want to go back to the old way, just go play Scarlet and Violet, go play Champions, that's fine. But Legends EA is all about this real-time battling aspect, and I really would love to see it online. I think it would completely change... well, it is. It's completely different kind of way of playing Pokemon, and I think, like, if you're really good at VGC, maybe you're going to struggle with this. If you're really... you know, not great at VGC, then maybe this would be more kind of in your avenue of kind of your specialities and stuff. So, like, for me, I'm not great at VGC, but for real-time battling, I feel like I'd be pretty good at. I played a lot of real-time battling games growing up and stuff, and I absolutely love it. So I'd like to think I'd definitely be much better at it than I would be at VGC. So yeah, I think it'd be a really cool kind of shake-up of the kind of competitive scene, but I don't think it's going to happen. But either way, it says post-game battle frontier, and then it says act similarly to the Pokemon World Tournament in Generation 5, bringing back lots of familiar faces. Would love to see that. Again, if it's only set 10 years in the future, everyone could return, which would be really cool. Approximate time skip from X and Y is 10 years. Returning characters are aged up appropriately. Yeah, I mean, the decade makes sense. I don't think it's going to be any longer than that, or any shorter than that, because it still needs to have a bit of a time difference where a lot of stuff would change. And yeah, a lot of stuff does change in a decade. And then it says, boss battles, post-game included, are similar to frenzied nobles from Pokemon Legends Arceus. Again, these radio signals could be making these mega evolutions really crazy and angry, and then we maybe have to calm them down by defeating them. It says, very aggressive, have shorter cooldowns than the player, so these would be the boss battles, which, yeah, I mean, you want them to be difficult, they're boss battles. Then it says, story bosses are relatively easy, post-game battle frontiers difficulty ramps up fast. Proper positioning and timing is required to beat some of the higher end battles. Bosses will take full advantage of your animation lock. And it says still no Mega Flygon. Mega Luxray, Mega Arcanine, Mega Kalos starters confirmed. There are more, but I haven't seen. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Legends EA. So Starter Trio do not Mega Evolve, but have new regional forms that only come out because of the Wild Zones. I'm team regional forms for the starters. I want to see regional forms for them, and then I want to see Mega Evolutions for the Gen 6 starters. I'll be very, very happy with that. I think that's likely going to be the case as well, because we got regional forms in Legends Arceus. We've got 3 random starters again. I don't know why they would change them getting Mega Evolutions. Maybe they do. Maybe they get regional forms and then Mega Evolve. That would be, I think, very unlikely, but it could be something that happens. Says only a handful of new Pokemon, convergent species included, but a lot of regional forms, all linked to the Wild Zones. Again, I think I'd rather see new Mega Evolutions and loads of new regional forms in this game, because when do we ever get new Mega Evolutions? We don't. You know, the last one was over 10 years. Well, not over 10 years ago, but whenever Auras came out, that was the last time we saw a new Mega Evolution, I'm pretty sure. So it's been, you know, near enough a decade. So I want more Mega Evolutions. You get regional forms in every new Pokemon game. Give me Mega Evolutions instead. Not called Kalosian forms, seems to be ditching the region Pokemon, instead naming them based on attributes. So it says Glacial Floette is the first new form discovered. It's an ice ground type with Refrigerate. Original design looked too similar to Powell's Chillet and was redesigned during development to make it more white than blue. So yeah, I mean, I'm not agreeing with this. I don't think a lot of this is going to happen. I think there's some cool points here. There's some cool ideas. But for me, I wouldn't really be, I wouldn't really be believing this personally. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this rumor. Do you think it is true or not? Would you like it to be true or not? And then also, what are your thoughts on everything else we covered today? Your thoughts on Eternal Floette? How do you think we're going to obtain it in the game if we are going to obtain it? And then do you think we're going to be seeing a Mega Zeraora in Pokemon Legends ZA? But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below. Let's try to hit 500 likes. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.